So what happens when you're the most disciplined friend in the friend group? Okay. Usually what happens is people make fun of you. And by people I mean your friends. They'll make fun of you. They'll say, "Oh, who do you think you are?" This and that. And you're slowly going to become distant from them. And you often hear, these quotes or motivational quotes. If your friends aren't on the same level as you, cut them off and this and that. And then you might think to yourself, "Oh, that seems kind of fake. That seems like not a real friend or something." But when you really think about it, it makes the most utterly complete sense. And why is that? Because once you start showing your disciplined self and you lock in and you have goals and ambitions and you start moving towards them and you start cutting out the smoking and you start cutting out eating the bad food and the drinking and the partying and the girls and the all this stuff, when you start cutting it out and you start praying and you start working hard, they can't relate to you anymore, and there's no point of having them as your friends because all they're gonna do is shit talk you through the whole thing. And that's what people mean by that. Because I want you to think about it. You're probably with degenerate friends right now if you're watching this video. Okay? They might have one degenerate trait or two degenerate traits, or they might be absolute, degenerates. Sorry, there's like bugs flying on my feet, on my ankles, and they're exposed. So, and they're not going to be able to relate to you once you go on this path. And you can't blame them because you've probably also been a degenerate for some of your life. You cannot blame them. But it slowly gets to a point where, if you're trying to bring them on the straight path and you're trying to bring them on the disciplined path and they still don't follow, there's no saving them, to be honest. You only can try so hard until you're holding yourself back, okay? Because, you hear this often. You're some of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you hang around with 5 millionaires, you're going to be the 6th. If you hang around with 5 druggies, you're going to be the 6th. If you hang around with 5 alcoholics, you're going to be the 6th. If you, surround yourself with 5 lawyers and you want to become a lawyer, you'll probably become the 6th. So what you need to understand is that if you're going on the disciplined path and you're still hanging around with your loser friends, they're going to bring you down. So what I would recommend is you go ghost for a bit. Maybe if it's for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, okay? And I want you to see how many of these friends actually, check up on you if you stop responding to them. And then you'll know who really are your friends or not. And if they do respond to you, then you tell them the path you're going on, how you want them to join. But slowly, like I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, your friends will not follow. Your friends will not go on the disciplined path with you. They'll stick to their old habits because they also still view you as a degenerate. They will say, "Last week you were doing this, you were drinking this much alcohol, and now you think you're Mr. Cool, smart millionaire guy who's disciplined and is going to take over the world." And you can't blame him. You can't blame him. But you just got to move on your own path. And that's what happens when you're the most disciplined friend in the group. And you're just going to and what you realize is everything is from God. So even if you lose those friends, you're probably going to gain better friends that you can relate to because now you've changed your habits and people can see that, okay? By the way you carry yourself, or by the way you speak, or by the way, certain activities you do too, whether you network or, you attend entrepreneurial seminars or whatever it is, But usually if people make fun of you for being disciplined, I wouldn't listen to them. I don't, when I started, my whole content journey, so many people made fun of me. So many people made fun of me.